Alright everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Pokemon Platinum. We've got quite the busy week and quite the packed episode for you today. So, if you are enjoying the series, might as well say this at the beginning, like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, because there's just the end of the main game is going to be happening this week, pretty much. It may go over a little bit into next week, but definitely, if you're enjoying the series, you won't want to miss that. So make sure you go ahead and do all that fun stuff. Anyway, we do have one quick change to this team, and that being Peaks. I've leveled up Peaks a little bit off camera, and all we need to do now is, well, evolve her, and yeah, we'll just keep on trucking. This is the team that I've selected for facing Mount Coronet head-on. I think it's probably the best team that we can use. Maybe we don't need Staravia, but because of just where we end up, we might want to go straight to a Pokemon Center. After all is said and done, in terms of Pokeballs, you might have seen it there, we got 50 Ultra Balls, so we should be good to go on that front, and I think we're ready to tackle one of the most, I think, fun and arduous series of events in the entire Pokemon series. So let's just get this underway, because we are in for a world of fun, and it's going to take a long time. Basically, the moves we need are Rock Climb and Surf. And probably a quick, cheeky Repel, too. And this is always... I think this is always my favorite part of this game. I think there's a lot of, like, really good parts in Pokemon games. Pokemon Black being definitely in that. I think specifically in Heart Gold, that kind of loot, you get the Master Ball, and then you go to the Kimono Girls, and you got the whole dealio with everything going on there. I think all that's super fun. But this is a great one. Pokemon Black, that kind of whole after the 7th gym. Oh, we need strength. Well, alright, we'll just teach someone strength. I forgot about this one thing. We'll teach someone strength, and then we'll just get rid of it. Because it's not that big of a deal. Probably... Peaks is unable. So, we'll do... Shocky, maybe? We can get rid of Leer. We can get a better move than Leer. And I don't think... Of all the moves that Shocky can learn, the ones that we would want to give him, I don't think that's going to interfere with anything. So, and then after all's said and done, we can go to Canalave and just get it removed, because it's not that big of a deal. But then Pokemon Black, that whole kind of after the 7th gym, pretty much all the way to the end, is just super, super fun. And then I think Pokemon X and Y doesn't really have that major excitement, I think. At least that's how I'm gonna put it. That was kind of my problem with X and Y, is like there wasn't, in my mind, there wasn't like a bad point in X and Y, but there was never like a truly exciting point. It just kind of, the game happened, and you started it, and you finished it, and you enjoyed it. And then that was kind of it. There wasn't this, wow, this is all going down right now, and it's crazy moment. I think that's what that game really missed. I'm hoping, if they are doing this Pokemon AZ, whatever it's called, thing, that maybe they rectify some of that, but I'm not sure how true all of that speculation really is. And we do have Pokemon battles in here because obviously Peaks isn't quite that high leveled up. But let's see what... Well, I think what we do is we just go straight into Starling and take out the wild Pokemon. Pokemon Black 2 has a lot of moments where it's pretty exciting. Black 2 is the most in-depth Pokemon game I think I've ever encountered. And then there's also Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, which, frankly, people say that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are exciting, and that's fine, but the exciting stuff happens after you've already been bored and you've forced yourself to get past a bunch of content that you're like, I just don't want to be here anymore. That was my experience, at least. I haven't played it in so long that maybe my opinion would change. But I found that game so frustrating. And so long. The intro's an hour long. An hour 30 minutes, I think. And I've noticed that that's been a theme in recent games. Observe, if you will, that hole. There was once a cave painting that had blocked the way to the summit, but the wall, it is no longer there. It lies in pieces, do you see? Ever since the 3 Pokemon of the lakes have been captured, something terrible is happening, but what exactly I do not know. But there is one cause, Team Galactic Cyrus, and now we are all caught up. Now to the next step. Are you trainer enough to advance? Show me if you will. Ha, you can relax now. I see, I understand. You are far superior to me. As are the commanders. Cyrus too, naturally. Team Galactic is beyond my reach. Please, you must stop them, for you are able. All I can do now is give you this little something I obtained in an investigation long ago. The Black Flute. Interesting. Please, you must stop Team Galactic. I guess, alright, we're gonna stop Team Galactic then. That is what we must do. But on my little Sun and Moon rant, just in general Pokemon games, I just find them the intros so long now. There was a time when in the Pokemon games they would just say, you're probably good enough to do this. But we got battles now. It's just the first move is toxic, so that is great. That's fun. But yeah, there was a time in Pokemon games when you would just be able to say, yes, I would like to start the game and play it and get going. And now it's like, here's 2 hours of introduction, because you may be new to a Pokemon game, and we don't want you to figure out that, figure it out for yourself. Well, there we go. Peaks is now at level 40, so that's pretty cool. Which means we get another Pokemon. Or, well, an evolution of one of our Pokemon. Because Peaks is evolving. And we have the Abominable Snowman. Or just a bomb of snow. Nice. Alright. But yeah, onwards and upwards we go. On what is, frankly, one of the coolest parts of the game. But yeah, I just to continue this whole thing is like, why is it with some of these Pokemon games that they just decide, you know what? Yes, what exactly we want to do is make it so that Pokemon is this game where we baby you like the entire way. I mean, there's no interesting rivals and, well, as interesting rivals and storylines as much anymore. I know that, like, I've seen a couple of threads on, like, on Twitter and such, the people talking, like, oh, I replayed Sword and Shield, and it wasn't as bad as I really expected it to be, and it's not as bad as everyone says it is. And it's like, you're probably right, but you can't go from a game like Pokemon Black and White to Pokemon Sword and Shield and think that they're even made by the same parent company. It's just that they're so different in just about every conceivable way. With they've made Pokemon. They stopped making Pokemon for people growing up with it in the late 90s and early 2000s and made it more for young kids. But I'd actually argue that that is a problem with Pokemon nowadays. Mainly because I think when you make a game for people that are a younger audience, they generally... I mean, maybe this is just a me thing, because I've always liked a good story. And so, between Pokemon Platinum, I'd argue Pokemon Heart Gold as well. But Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pokemon Black and White, and to an extent X and Y. That was one Pokemon that was difficult. Oh dear. Anyway, but moving back to what I was saying, it is those 6 games, and I think I'll add parts of Sun and Moon in there. If they didn't have such a long introduction to that game, Sun and Moon would be included. But the problem with a lot of the more modern interpretations of these Pokemon games is that what they lack most of all is a good story. And I've always liked stories. So growing up with predominantly the DS games, and actually, you know what? I will include Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. But yeah, including all those games, I think what we lack is a good story in some of the more modern games, where it's actually properly trivial and things are at risk. I must be a little bit unique in this, but for me, story is just the most important aspect of any game that I play. And maybe that's also kind of why I like RPGs a lot, is because they've got good... a good RPG is going to have a good story in it. And this dude just is blocking that off. I think that's one of the Reggie rooms. But I just wanted to do these battles. Yeah, I wanted to come up here, because I think there's an item right there. And we can get that, and we can move on. Because we're actually getting a little bit closer. I know this episode's you're thinking this episode's really long, and you just keep blabbing on, Joey, but, I'm just gonna keep on going. But, I don't know, maybe I have these theories on why they do that. And actually, there was, in Scarlet and Violet, because I did play a little bit of that, I was impressed with some aspects of the story, but not overly. I found certain things interesting, but it's almost like the game's too big. I never thought a Pokemon game could be too big, especially after Black 2 and White 2. Because Black 2 and White 2 is a massive game. Especially for DS. There is so much to do in that game. I'm a little bit concerned because I think with that game, I'm going to have to break up the director's cut, essentially, into 2 parts. Because I don't have enough YouTube subscribers and followers and stuff to be able to do longer videos than 12 hours. So on that topic, if you are enjoying these videos and you would like me to at some point do longer games, whether they be fan-made games or Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, and actually have a full continuous full series cut, then keep subscribing. And we might be able to do that at some point. I'm going to put Sharky up front, I think. Might try and get Sharky to evolve. You never know. But we got more battles. I don't know why, I actually like the longer form, like full series videos a lot more than just watching it series by series, or episode by episode. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyway, I think we're just at the end of this. I'm gonna make one slight change to my lineup after this double battle, I think. Alright, that is easy enough. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Shaki up front. Not Sharky, Shocky. Because we've got, I believe, a double battle coming up with the bosses. Yes. Where do you think you're going? I won't let you disturb our boss. If you're not gonna listen, you'll have to get through me first. After all, you've made me look bad more times than I can remember. And I'll be next. You might be tough, but this time the gloves are coming off. Hold on a second! Don't you start a party without me, huh? Remember me, I'm here to get my revenge. Ha! If it isn't that little boy, little crybaby from Lake Acuity. Did you toughen up a bit? Sure, let's battle 2-on-2. Alright, we've got a double battle. A 2-on-2 against the Team Galactic Commanders. With our childhood friend and rival. And they do send out Bronzors first. That's annoying. I didn't think they did that. In fact, because I didn't think they did that, I was gonna put Inferno up front. And that's now not gonna happen. So that is a bit annoying. Especially if they're doing that. Oh no, that's just defense. But they've partnered it with. See, that's just good battle tactics. That's well, anyway. Doesn't matter if we just keep flamethrowering them though. Though I need to remember which one is which, because one of them's gonna have a Perugly, which will be very helpful to take out with Inferno. Because then I can just put in anyone really? I mean, Skunk Tank's not that big of a deal. So, alright, let's flamethrower the other Bronzor this time. Because I just don't remember who's on which side. I think Mars is on the right, which would make sense. So we should go for the Bronzor on the right. If they're just gonna keep using extra sensor on me, though, that's gonna become an issue. Because obviously Inferno and... Are you gonna do something, Munchlax, or are you just gonna stockpile? Are you just setting up to be bulky and nothing else? Like, dude. I'm sitting here on 1 HP, jeez. I'm sitting here on 1 HP doing all the work. And bro's just chilling, stockpiling his Munchlax. Like, yes, I'm gonna make Munchlax bulky. It doesn't even raise your attack. It just makes you less hard to destroy. Alright, we need to take out at least one of those Bronzors. Body Slam's not gonna do anything. Although it did paralyze the one Bronzor that I'm actually gonna go for, which is annoying. Be better if I had a move that would hit both targets, but that's fine. We can deal with it. It's not the end of the world. Another extra sensory. Hopefully he doesn't stockpile again. I don't think he can. I think stockpile 3 is the highest you go. But, yeah, Reflect and Light Screen wore off, which is good. Now, Golbat comes out. But that is Mars. So that's good to know. But the Golbats come out, which is making my life a little bit more difficult. But that's fine. We shall persevere. And take out the Golbat. And then we can switch out completely. Though, it is 2 Pokemon that I'm going up against that literally have super effective attacks against me. And a Munchlax that's about as useful as a speed bump on a runway. Although it did just take out a Pokemon there. But now Skunktank's out. And that now is a problem that I'm gonna have to deal with. And so we need to get rid of the Golbat. So we can get rid of the Purugly. So that we can just not deal with Pokemon. But I'm pretty sure that Skunktank's gonna take Inferno down now. Because they're not attacking Munchlax at all. It's like, when have they attacked Munchlax? Maybe once? It's just so annoying. You know what? I'm gonna get Sharky out. I don't even care about the Golbat. I'm just gonna go straight for an Earthquake and try and take out the Munchlax. Sorry, Barry, you're useless. Your first Pokemon is actively making this battle more difficult to do. Though I am really hopeful that Earthquake can take out... There we go. There we go. That's made life easier. Shocky levels up to level 46. That's pretty cool. And that's now us confused. Which is fine. At least Munchlax did take out a Pokemon this time. And now it's a Purugly and a Golbat. So, why not go for another Earthquake? We might as well. Purugly's gone for a Slash, which is perfectly fine. Actually, if he sends out, Staraptor. I think it's a Staraptor. If that's his next Pokemon, that actually kind of bodes well. That's a decent combo with a Ground-type Pokemon with Earthquake, so that actually could be a viable strategy. But we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure we have another battle after this as well. Like, this is going to be a long episode. Alright. Should we go... Well, Earthquake's probably the most powerful move we've got. Let's just go for what we've got that's powerful. And actually, that should be Purugly down then, because with the Earthquake. Actually, no. Now that you've taken out the Purugly, my attack is pointless. Now, at least we hurt ourselves in the confusion. That's made things a lot better. That's made things easier to deal with. Now Staraptor's poisoned. That's lovely. All right, let's take this thing out. Let's go. Let's get it. We snapped out of confusion. Thank you. And that it's probably a 2-shot. And it's fine. He's not focusing us. Or the Golbat's not focusing us. And we can go for yet another Dragon Claw, and that should be the Golbat. All done. And there we go, we defeated the commanders! Sheesh, I should have done the fighting myself. You've toughened up, but you're no match for our boss. Heh, my Pokemon are tough, right? I can get even tougher. But, you know, that's it for us. We've hit the wall. Joey, I'll help you with this. We've been healed up. We have our Pokemon fully healed. Hey, Joey, this is it. It's your show now. Everything is ready for the creation of a new world. Now, all will end, and everything will begin. With this, the red chain made from the crystals of the 3 lake Pokemon, and this, the red chain I replicated with technological means. With these red chains, I will pry open the portal to another dimension. I command that you unleash your power for me. Dialga, the mythical Pokemon and the Master of Time, and the other, Palkia, the mythical Pokemon, the Master of Space and Dimensions. I've waited so long for this moment, Dialga and Palkia. Shaping this world is a double spiral of space and time. Yes, the very things that you have the ability to control. You will do my bidding, and I have your abilities as mine. With the power I wield, I will create an entirely new world. The incomplete and ugly world we have now can disappear. I am resetting everything to zero. Nothing can remain, for it is all that making the ultimate world, a world of complete perfection. Nothing so vague and incomplete as spirit can remain. I should have expected as much. Yuxi, the being of knowledge, as of the being of willpower, and mess with the being of emotion. The Pokemon have come to protect Sinnoh, pathetic and worthless. It takes 3 of them, the 3 lake Pokemon that symbolize spirit, to balance either the Pokemon of time or space, but they can't maintain balance against these 2, not when both Dialga and Palkia are here. Their coming here is in vain, so much meaningless drama. Now Joey, you've constantly interfered with my plans, but you will be forgiven. After all, there will remain no spirit for all time when I'm done. All spirit will disappear. It will be ripped away. From you, from your Pokemon, from those precious to you. It is time. My dream will be my reality. What is this pressure I feel? Something is enraged. Interesting. So there is a Pokemon that can only appear as a shadow. Regardless, the effort is rash and foolish. I have harnessed the powers of Dialga and Palkia. I, Cyrus, won't have any more interfere. No! I'm sorry it took so long. I think I finally found the answer from studying the myths. When the world was made, Dialga and Palkia appeared. Apparently there was one more Pokemon that appeared at the same time. A Pokemon with as much power as Dialga and Palkia. But also one whose name was never to be spoken, Giratina. It's said to lurk in another world, a world on the opposite side of ours. That's what the shadow was. It must have been Giratina. The pillars are distorting. It's because of that portal. It's joined us to the other world. If it's not closed, the distortion will spread to Sinnoh and beyond. Our world will be destroyed. Are you ready? We have to chase Cyrus. We have to hurry.